Well, the Suns can't catch a break. Um, they lost to the 36ers. What are they, Australian professional team? By 10. People are overreacting. I'm going to be the one guy who defends them, I think. And that's fine. Hopefully, like, Kenny defends them or something. I don't know. But it wasn't great. Anytime you lose to a team that's just a different league altogether, I mean, people are going to go crazy. But I'm here to defend them because I think first and foremost, you have to recognize the fact that for the most part, the starters played pretty well. 22 minutes apiece. Obviously, they're not going to risk anything for a preseason game that doesn't matter against a team from what is it, the NBL, right? I mean, Mikal Bridges has a show-out game. 3 for 4 from 3, finishes with 22, 75% from the field. Great. DeAndre Ayton, same thing. One of the most efficient 22 in 6 games you're going to see. And even besides that, Chris Paul takes 4 shots in total, makes 2 of them, 12 assists. I mean, the starters look good. Maybe Devin Booker didn't have the most dominant 20 minutes of his life. And I mean, realistically, Cam Johnson was the only one who I would say had a not incredible game out of the starters. But nobody on this team, with the exception of Torrey Craig and Cam Payne, played more than like 22 minutes. It was a very obvious decision from Monty Williams, and you're not necessarily worried about the fact that you lose this one. In my opinion, I don't think so. I don't think Devin Booker's mad that Ishmael Wainwright, Torrey Craig, Jock Landale, Damian Lee, and Landry Shamet couldn't get it done. I don't think that's a big deal. As for the other team, I think they caught lightning in a bottle. I mean, they shot better from 3 than they shot from the field, which is unreal. Both over 55%. Um, Suns had a mediocre shooting night. Sometimes you just have those days. I'm not worried about them. When you look at the production of Chris Paul, I mean, he was ripping that defense to shreds. 12 assists in 22 minutes. That's crazy. It wasn't a fair fight until they started hitting their threes, and then it was not a fair fight because the starters weren't playing for the Suns anymore. I'm not worried. I think this, if anything, exposes the depth of the Suns a little bit. But hopefully, you make a move to get Jay Crowder out of the locker room, and he gets you at least something back, a piece. Dario Saric is coming back. Josh Okogie didn't play, but he's there. They've even got Frank Jackson, who I think could be good for them in some spot minutes. And obviously, you don't want Cameron Payne and Torrey Craig leading your team in minutes, or else you're probably not going to win many games. I think they're fine. I don't think there's much to worry about here. Obviously, you'd like to see them, get one, just with everything going on with the Suns and with Robert Sarver and just the way they went out last year. I mean, they really need something good for themselves, and it wasn't this game. But I'm not worried. It's not like they're gonna never win another game again and blow up the team and trade Devin Booker. Watch it happen. But I mean, sure, be cautious, right? But once the starters play starter minutes, then I think you can evaluate a game like this a little bit more fairly. And I think anyone saying that these guys are gonna blow it up or that they're gonna miss the playoffs or comparing them to the Lakers last year, I think that's a little much. Just looking at the team. I mean, the same essentially the same group of guys made it to the finals 2 years ago, and so I think they've gotten better more than they've gotten worse. And I wouldn't even say they got worse. I would just say they got older, namely Chris Paul and Jay Crowder. Now Jay Crowder's out the door, but I mean their biggest loss was JaVale. So take that for what you will. I'm not super stressed. I think they're going to be fine. Congrats to the 36ers. I mean, get a couple of those guys contracts in the league. They were looking great. They couldn't miss a three. I mean, they couldn't miss three. They couldn't. everything was dropping. Especially at the end, the Suns were just trying to claw back in. They couldn't do it. I wouldn't worry. That's the video.